Conductor.
Well, wouldn't you know it, guys, I performed a full trans service on the ML55 yesterday in the beautiful weather, and it turns out we need to do a conductor plate. Now it's raining and we're going to be working outside, but that's okay. If you're joining me today, yes, we are doing a conductor plate on a 772.6. Somehow I've never made a video on this. I did it on my CVT5 way back in the day before it was manual swapped, but I don't think I documented it for some reason. So today we're doing that. I've been sitting on this new conductor plate from FCP Euro. This is OEM one for like 6 years, thinking I was going to do it way sooner than I did. And then I have a new plug for the conductor plate here. And we are going to basically take care of this today. It's not an overly complex job, as my hand is stuck in here. Not an overly complex job, but you definitely got to be careful, and there's a few things to watch for. So I will bring you guys along, show you the process. But first up right now, got to drain the new fluid I put in yesterday, because I did a filter and fluid for it. I think I overfilled the fluid too, so that didn't help. But I was still getting codes for like N15-Y or something like that, communication errors. And what had happened, why I'm looking to replace it, is basically when it was hot, the car got stuck in second gear. And it only happened, like, we literally drove it for probably like 100 miles all the way over to the West Bank of Seattle, and drove it all through the highway. We're ripping on it, got off the highway close to home, and then when I went to leave that exit, it was like stuck in second gear. So it's happening when it's hot, and most likely that has to do with just the solder joints and things like that starting to fail, or the sensor starting to fail on the actual plate itself. So it's just time. It's lasted, you know, 200,000 miles almost. So it's just time. So we got to take care of it. Got a little bit of a free flush, I guess, to be on the bright side of things, since I put new fluid in it yesterday. So yeah, anyways, let's go for it. Let's go out in the rain, see where we left off, and get this thing back up and running. And if you're new to my channel, these are my other rides here. So you can see we got manual swap C55, 190E projects, getting an M111K and a 6-speed in the garage, C36 AMG that I bought sight unseen and drove all the way from San Francisco home and have been driving it since, CLK55 with an M113K swap, and the C63 that we just recently put a 6-speed manual in it as well. So I figure this is one of those videos where it's kind of a general maintenance thing that a lot of people are searching around for, that might bring some new people to the channel. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Brooks, this is channel Anderson, and I like to work on old Benzes, AMGs, and yeah, so let's do this. This is our ML55, the other car on the channel. We've had this thing for a long time. It's our reliable family rig, and I want to keep it that way. So I am just gonna bear through this and work here in the dirt. I got a couple moving blankets, some padding, and I'm gonna make this work. So let's get this thing out of here. Okay, first up, the drain bolt. Let's see what we got. Man, all right, got that cracked. Go ahead, get our pan under there. And hopefully we see some fluid. Oh yeah. All right, it's dirty, but not terrible. And still quite a bit. All right, that's good news to start. Let's see how much comes out of there. This pan was pretty empty, so we can get an accurate amount of how much came out. And fluid, I don't know if you can get an idea on camera, but it's still red. I mean, it's dark, but it's still red. So like I said, I didn't service it that long ago. It's probably maybe 15,000 miles, 20,000 miles. But when I did it that time, I just did a drain and fill. I didn't even do a filter on it because the filter hadn't been done too long before that. I just wanted to kind of verify what fluid, you know, was in the transmission, make sure it was clean. When I drained it, it was clean, but I just refilled the 4 quarts or whatever was needed that came out when I did it. So this time around, we'll actually go and do a filter and the pan gasket. Alright guys, here goes all the pan bolts. Alright you guys, saw yesterday's footage from me draining the fluid, same process I just did right now, but now we're at the valve body and you can see, well hopefully you can see, I'll try to point out maybe with some arrows, there's a bunch of T30s on the bottom of this that you're going to try to extract. And then on the far side, oh, I'm in the wet, sorry guys. Over there, there's basically what holds the shifter prong. So you need to remove that bracket first. And then we also need to get out the conductor plate plug, which is up here. Mine is filthy and it's being very difficult to remove, but you spin it counterclockwise, and hopefully yours is a little more free than mine, but mine is definitely gummed up, so it's going to take a little bit of battle to get that out. So get that out first, then we'll do the rest of these T30s, and like I said, do the bracket first on the actual valve body itself, and then start slowly going through all the bolts. Have a hand under this thing when you're getting to the last few bolts, because it is pretty heavy and you don't want to drop it. So yeah, just have a hand ready. Alright guys, and jumping into the instructions to be able to show you this a little easier. 7mm bolt inside here. Make sure that screw is all the way undone. You'll be able to tell when it does, but it's basically set in here, so it's not going to come out, but you'll be able to tell when it's actually all the way undone. And same thing when you're reinstalling this, be very careful. And like I said, I told you guys this thing was crusty, but try to grab like with your fingers like this at the same time as pushing this tab counterclockwise or pulling the tab counterclockwise, and you'll get it to go. The seal on this one I think was still holding, to be honest, because the outside is not really oily, it's just gunky from road grime. So I think this is actually still doing its job, and the inside is fairly dry, but it's definitely time. So anyways, back to the video. Alright guys, hopefully you can see you're wedged between the tire and I'm wedged between the car. But let's go ahead and start zipping these off. Like I said, after you get the conductor plate plug out, start with the little bracket for the shifter. Okay, there we go. Mine had tension on it, guys, so I don't remember that specifically last time being like that, but you basically just wiggle it out of the notch and then slide it over. When you go back in with it, I'm getting dripped on right now, but oh yeah, when you go back in with it, make sure it is sitting in the big notch right here and it's sitting flush. That should be park right there, and it'll keep everything in line. So don't really have to move that, just keep where it's at, and we'll drop this straight down. So anyways, bracket is out. Let's keep going with all these bolts. Okay. Oh yeah. Gonna make a mess. It's all right. Okay. Sliding out, guys. Yeah. And there is one 722.6 conductor plate. Let's get this thing in the garage and get this thing overhauled. All right, you guys, we have made it back into the garage and onto the work table. All right, you guys, one quick thing to note about these little plastic caps, basically just pop off, be gentle, but I think they're just hooked onto the circles right there, little plugs. So nothing crazy holding them down, just be gentle. So like I said, they're old plastic, they've been in here a long time. And I can tell you right off the bat, here is probably one of the reasons why we're seeing some failure of this plate. Is right here. This is just, you know, concentrated clutch pack material from over the years, and it gets stuck. These are the speed sensors, I believe, and it gets stuck on those and probably causes some irritation when it comes to trying to get a correct reading. The other things that will fail on these, there's a ton of like solder connections and little copper joints and stuff like that, and I think those just get really worn out over time. You see all the solder connections down there. Some inside, basically each solenoid has its own solder connection. So yeah, next up, we're gonna get the T30s for all the solenoids. Those will need to come out. Just remember where we're gonna place everything, and then we'll keep going. But I'm gonna grab some food right now, so I'll see you guys in a second. For me, like an hour. All right, you guys, I'm all full of stir fry and ready to work. So let's get tackling this thing. Like I said, T30, T30, T30. Gonna bring the solenoids out, and then from there, it's basically just like clamped on with little prongs. I don't know if you can see them on here, but yeah, we'll try to just carefully lift it off. And it doesn't necessarily matter because we're going to be replacing it, but you know, just try to keep it in one piece. There is the old plate off. Key things to note: on the bottom right side over here, this little tab, there's a little connector that has a tooth on it that you just pull out this way, and then the rest of it just pops up. So nothing else really holds it in place to the board. I guess, I mean, these little prongs, but there's not like teeth that you have to release. So just that spot, once you pop that up, the rest of it comes up nice and easy. I'm not gonna like brake clean or go anything crazy on here because I don't want it to get left over inside of this thing, but I am gonna wipe down like just some of the edges over here and get rid of you know, clutch pack material that obviously we don't need in here. A couple things to just note while you are, you know, pulling the solenoids out. The little filters, sometimes they like to move a little bit. This one tried to move a little bit, so I just kind of situated it back where it was. And besides that, nothing much going on. So we've got, you know, little plungers all throughout this thing. Most of them are all hidden on the sides. So if you're ever going to do like a shift kit or rebuild, you know, shift kit type of thing, that's where all of that would take place. You would split the valve body and then take off these plates on the sides and, you know, do all that. But right now we're just putting on the new conductor plate, so let's take care of it. All right, and then key thing with solenoids, obviously just put them in a place where you know where each one is going to go. You can't really mess these up per se because they only fit into like their respective spots. Even like these two are different. These two are the same, so I think if you swapped one of these on accident, it would be fine. But you know, you just want to keep everything where it was, so that's how you're going to put it back. New conductor plate is on. For these, I'm sure there's a specific torque spec, but I just put them back to what they were by feel. These are spring loaded, so I mean, you don't need to torque them down like crazy. And the inserts have little steel, basically rolls or inserts in them, so you can feel when they start cinching down and getting tight. And once you get to that point, just kind of a good snug and go from there. So these are all recovered. One thing I do believe, I think this has to fit into a certain like slot for the shifter, so I guess just pay attention where this is at, and when we go back in, we'll make sure what needs to get slotted back in there does. So besides that, I think we can put our little caps back on and call it a day. Let's make sure we got those little things in the right spot. Let me do this with two hands so I make sure I'm doing it good. Oh, there we go. And this one, same thing. I believe good to go. Let's, yeah. I don't think it's supposed to. Okay, I think we should be good. So let's go ahead, get ready to throw this thing back in. All right, you guys, well, we got good news on multiple fronts right now. Pan is ready to go back in because our valve body is all situated. Key things to note, just again, make sure that you have the plunger over here in the correct space, a yellow plunger lined up. You'll see it. It really can't go in unless you got everything situated in the right spot. And besides that, just don't force anything, take your time. I just cinched down all the bolts right now. I haven't tightened them yet. The torque spec I think is like something like, I don't know, 10 foot-pounds, or could be like up to 18, I can't remember, but I'm just gonna cinch them all down by hand just with a small ratchet. I am gonna do the conductor plate plug before I put the pan on right now, so take care of that. Get the 7mm screw bolted in and put the pan back on, fill it up with fluid. All right guys, conductor plate plug is in, and again with those, I mean, they can only fit in one way. There's 3 grooves on the yellow piece, like the initial piece that goes in, and then the plug that comes out can only go in one way too. So do not force it. It will break the plastic inside on the conductor plate and you're gonna have to start all over. So you gotta be careful, but once you feel where it's aligned, then you can push in a tiny bit to get the O-ring to seat, and then it'll be about a quarter of the way out and you start to spin the yellow tab and it will suck the rest of the connector in. So that's how you situate that. Everything else is cinched down. Do not crank on these bolts. It is going into aluminum. When I did my C55, I actually stripped the head off of one of the bolts and I had to harbor freight it or hardware store it and basically use a vice grip to get it out and then put a new bolt in. So don't do that. But this time around I remembered from last time and was nice and easy with all of them. Everything's lined up, so pan is ready to go back on and we're almost there to fill up fluid. All right guys, and when you get your new filter in, you should feel nice, kind of snug to the O-ring. Should sink in there pretty good, and then you should get a nice snap at the connection right around where the filter is open right there on the opposite side. There's a little kind of slot that clamps in with 2 little teeth. So pop that one in there and you should get a nice pop of a click and a little cinch down of the O-ring. So all right you guys, we are officially all done underneath. Pan is back on, cinched down. So now let's fill this thing up with fluid and check our levels. Okay guys, learned my lesson this time. I just put 4 liters in. We probably have more than that this time realistically because it took the valve body out, but I'm going to start there. I'll start it up, go through all the gears, get the car up to the temp, and then we'll check it and then add fluid if we need to. We got 2 liters left, which should be plenty if we need to add fluid. So let's check. All right you guys, switch to the iPhone. This GoPro's about to die, but let's go ahead and fire this thing up. I cleared all the codes yesterday when I checked everything, so shouldn't have any codes. I do have a check engine light that comes back for the EGR. That's because I haven't programmed it out yet, but yeah, let's go ahead and fire it up. All right guys, been idling for a while, gone through the gears multiple times, went through the little Sequentronic 1st through 5th. Drivetrain's definitely quieted down. These M113s get noisy if you let them sit for a few days. Sometimes the lifters and stuff will start making noise, but running nice and smooth now. So I'll let it run for a little bit more just so we can get close to that kind of ADC level on the dipstick, and then we'll shut it down and check it, and as long as it's close, then we can adjust it from there, drive it. We are on a little bit of a slant, so it's not perfectly accurate, but it'll be close enough. It's better to be a little bit low than too full. So all right you guys, and while I wait for the fluid to kind of settle, I'm going to go ahead and check this on the launch scanner, if this will work. Oh, probably not. Sometimes it doesn't connect to my internet when I'm outside. We'll go to manually select 163. And if you guys need a deal on these launch scanners, let me know. The guy that sent these out to me is always running deals and promotions, and really, really good value. I honestly, I use this more than the Star DOS setup nowadays. The Star DOS setup is irreplaceable, so if you need one, definitely get one from Mercedes Swap Shop, James and Josh over there. Because there's certain stuff that you can't do with this, but for the newer stuff, especially like my C63 and even the CLS that we just did the manual swap on, I was able to program pretty much everything in these. So on the older stuff like this, it can't do as much, but still enough to get away with. So right now we're just checking codes. Yesterday I had a bunch of misfires and things like that because there was too much trans fluid in there, and I think it was lugging the engine. So I didn't drive it or anything. I just was going back and forth through the gears while I was standing here parked, and check engine light started flashing, and that's when I figured, I think the fluid is way too high. So let's get a read on this real quick. All right, good news there. Just our regular check engine light code that we've had for a long time. I need to upload a new tune from Josh. That's why this is still here. I deleted EGR so many years ago, and we've just been living with the check engine light sitting on the dash. I need to get a program. So Josh, if you're watching, let's do it. All right, but that, we don't need to clear that. Let's just go to transmission control module and make sure we have no fault codes there. That is a key thing. No fault. That is beautiful to see. Okay, I think we are good, guys. So I'm going to check fluid right now, and then we'll take it for a test drive. All right, you guys, this thing doesn't want to focus for some reason. Try to focus. Okay, there we go. Left mark is the ADC mark, and it was basically right in the half of it. So I think we're good for now. I'm not going to add any fluid to it. I'll drive it, and then we'll see the fluid when I come back. Well, guys, that's not good. Just got a flashing check engine light again. I don't know what you guys just saw. I was probably running it for like 5-10 minutes. Went through all the gears like 2-3 times. And then right now I was just about to back it out. Sorry I wasn't recording, but got super shaky. And then check engine light started flashing. So let's check the codes. Well, that's not what you want to see, guys. What the heck is going on? Literally misfiring damages in a bunch of cylinders. Okay, I mean, this is not like out of the norm. If you got something wrong going on, a lot of times it will cause a misfire. So this is not necessarily the root. This is probably aftermath, but that is freaking weird. No fault. What the heck? Okay, so we got something going on engine side. All right. I mean, that's good. The trans is fixed. Not where I thought this video was going to end up, guys. But that's okay. I want to get this solved. I'm glad it's happening here when we're at home. I'm not kidding, guys. The last time we drove this thing, we drove it probably the furthest we've driven it for a long time, all the way over to as far as you can go in Seattle, on the very west side of Seattle on the coast, and to pick up a set of wheels for the 190E. And I took the whole family. We took the whole family. We were flying there on the freeway. We hardly ever take the freeway anymore. I avoid it at all costs. Cruised all the way over there, all the way back, and literally within 5-10 minutes on the way back, that's when it happened. It got stuck in second gear, and then it was still running fine, but it was just stuck in second gear, and got us back home. And now this. Let me know what you guys think. This might have to be another video, to be honest. You guys thought I was gonna leave you on a cliffhanger, huh? So did I. I literally made an ending to the video, and then after the fact, just went back, started looking things over, and look what I found when I went up to the engine bay. I was like, okay, it's got to be like a MAF for fuel pumps going bad. Well, turns out, probably whenever I did the spark plugs and had everything out, on my little custom intake setup, this part of the boot was barely on. So it was getting bad readings after the MAF. And if you know these M113s and any car with a MAF, really, if you got unmetered air behind the MAF, it's not good and it won't run good. And that's, I think, exactly what was going on. That might even be what happened when it got stuck in second gear. It basically went into like a limp mode or something. But at least, I mean, we got no transcode, so chances are we did have some stuff going on with the conductor plate. But now we know engine side, it might have just been that freaking hose, which is crazy. Oh my God, I love this thing, you guys. It's amazing what having metered air will do for an engine. Oh, ML55, you have been so reliable and stout for the family, and I am forever indebted to this machine, man. Oh man, honestly, we've been looking at like newer SUVs and, you know, just newer family rigs, and every time I do, I just get like this feeling of, but I don't want the time with ML55 to be over feeling. Like, even if we did get something newer, which maybe we will just for space reasons alone, like it'd be awesome to have a minivan to lug the kids around, or like a Tundra or something where I have a truck and a big, you know, cabin for all of us to cruise around in. So we might still end up doing that, but even if we do, I don't think I can let this thing go, you guys. Like, realistically, if I sold it, I mean, I'd probably get, let's say, 5 to 7 grand for it. And at that price, it's just not worth me selling. It's just too good for us. And it just runs too good. Oh my gosh. This thing it's just too good, man. It runs too good. And it's just, I mean, man, this thing was built in the year 2000. It is 2025. It's got 193,000 miles on it. And it just gives no complaints, man. It's just body on frame, tough built. Who cares if it's not the build quality standards of today's cars, or, you know, Mercedes best years, mid 2000s type quality interiors and stuff like that. The rest of the stuff that's important was built with the best intentions and the best longevity and reliability. It's just too good to give up, man. And this is why I work on cars, guys. The roller coaster of emotions that you feel. The down parts of the roller coaster is not the most enjoyable, but those ups in the roller coaster are so rewarding. And right now, to have something so silly like a hose be unplugged after the MAF is about as easy of a problem you could ever ask for. But in the moment when it's happening and your engine is misfiring and you can't figure it out, it is stressful. And that's the lows of the roller coaster. But I will take it. You got to take the highs and lows in cars, in life, in everything. And it's a win. Today is a win. You know who's going to be the most happy about this?